Hi, welcome back for our second part of our Easy Pleasy Pizza. And this is the pizza dough section. And so once you have the right tools, like I have my great blender here, you can make everything within a snap of a finger. Well, a few seconds, 10 seconds at the most. So I'm going to make my liquid part first. Okay, this is the first part. And the liquid part first is 2/3 cup of warm water. I warmed up tap water for about 35 seconds. Okay, and I have my pizza dough blade inside, or my dough blade inside my blender. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my active dry yeast, about a tablespoon. A 1/4 ounce of yeast in those little packages is the same as almost a tablespoon. So put that in there. I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup of oil. Sorry, but I'm used to eyeing it out. I'm going to just eye out a quarter cup of oil in there. And I'm going to go ahead and squeeze in my 1 tablespoon of agave. Again, I'm going to eye it out, about a tablespoon. Okay. I'm going to render it and blend it just gently for about 10 seconds. 10 seconds is all you need. Alright, I'm going to turn that off and start adding in my flour. I'm going to start with half of the flour first. And a little bit of my salt. About a teaspoon of salt. I like using this mineral salt because it has minerals. Less salt, more minerals to flavor. I'm going to go ahead and turn the dough maker on again, or the dough blender. Lining up my triangles here. Make sure everything's okay. And please note, you can double this recipe and set some aside in the refrigerator ready to go when your kids come home for fast pizza. Go ahead and add the rest of my flour in there, and notice this blender also needs my flour. You know, needs me pressing it down and putting in some muscles. I know us mom, we get so tired sometimes that we think, gosh, to make pizza dough, forget it. But having the right tools again makes it more and easy to make pizza dough. You may want to add in a little bit more flour if necessary. Now you can see how the dough in there is starting to come together and form into even a little ball. It's kneading it now. I'm going to go ahead and feel it out to see if it's sticky. You don't want it too sticky. See, it's kind of sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more flour to my dough. Just to dry it up, just a tad bit, like so. Okay, not too much. Not too much. I'm going to stir the top up here. Okay. And you see how it's rolling it over and over again. It's kneading the dough and putting it all together. You just need to keep it on for about in a minute. See, notice how it's forming into the ball now. As it forms into the ball, you're just about ready to take it out. That's good. Voila. Let me see. Well, it's still a bit sticky. Now, you do this, and you're going to have to play around with it just for a little bit, just so you get an idea of how your dough should feel like. Okay? see how it's forming it now? All right. In the meantime, you go ahead and set up your oven at 400 degrees because we're ready to top it off as, okay, that should be enough, I think. Yeah, should be just enough. It's still a little bit sticky, but we get to use flour here. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my dough, please. I'm going to go ahead. Now, if you want softer, fluffier, you know, thicker pizza dough, then you can go ahead and let it rise for about an hour or so. But you don't have to do that for this pizza because pizza is flat anyway. And my kids like it a little bit fluffy but a little bit crispy at the same time. So you're going to see. Now see how sticky it is? You can put a little bit more flour in there just to make it a little bit more easier to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting more of these into a ball. Now if you want to let it rise to get a thicker pizza crust, you can oil a bowl up and let it rise for about an hour. But I'm going to leave it just like that for now. Put my blender aside. This is your pizza dough. Looks good, eh? Now you can roll this whole pizza dough up to make one whole big pizza, but since I have finicky eaters and they all don't want the same toppings, I'm going to let them come in here and put their own topping once I roll out their dough, which they can do it themselves too. I can cut this in maybe 4 parts and they can go ahead and roll their own dough. But as you can see, I have several different toppings, all prepared. Cheese, I have sweet pepper, some garlic, I got some vegetarian sausage and bacon, and that's turkey bacon. I got tomatoes and onions, and I even got roasted eggplants, which my husband loves. And remember our tomato sauce that we made earlier. So I'm going to cut this into 4s, as you can see. And the nice part about having these little pizzas is that your kids just love making them. So you just go ahead and flatten them out. And we're going to call our little ones so they can start going ahead and putting their sauce on and making their little pizza, and they can make odd shapes with it, you know, just make them circular. And put a little bit of oil on my baking sheet here and just kind of spread it out. I'm sure that just a little bit of olive oil will work. You can put cornmeal if you want instead so it doesn't stick. I like to use the extra olive oil. Whatever you have in your pantry. And there you go. It's a little rough pizza, but you know they love it. And you can do that with the rest of the pizza dough. So I'm going to go ahead and call my little ones in. Okay, so I'm going to call my little ones to put their toppings on. And we'll be putting it in the oven at 400 degrees. For cheese pizza, I think it's less. It's 14 minutes. And if you have more condiments on it, then it's 17 minutes. So tune in a little while to see how these pizzas are going to come out. Angie, come over now. You can go ahead and put your toppings on. Over here on this side. So you have a choice of tomato sauce, and sometimes I can use ranch dressing or any other type of you know, sauce that's in your pantry. Like you can even use plum sauce to make a Chinese pizza if you want. Okay.
Can I just put it on?
Yeah, you go ahead. You know what to do. Done this before. So Angie, what are you gonna put as your toppings this time? We've got different types of toppings here.
Even bacon.
Okay. There's one here.
I have to make room for the crust.
You can, or you can put it all the way. It's up to you. This is Angie's Pizza. So while they're working on their pizza, I got the oven already. And I'm gonna go ahead and make an extra pizza dough. Okay, pizza's ready. Clap
Finally.
hands, clap hands.
Oh my
This is how our pizza looks like after being in the oven for about 17 minutes. As you can see, they put their own toppings. And are you guys ready to eat?
Yeah!
Yay. Okay. Well, thank you. Tune in to momshealthpoint.com for more recipes. And we'll see you soon. Say aloha.
Aloha!
Okay. Whose one is that?
Yeah.
Mine had bacon. I
And
want
this
this
is,
plate.
this one is just mine.
That's mine.
You can pull that foil right there. Okay.
No.
Oh.
Fine.
Okay,
Of course,
Angie.
Angie.
Angie, why did you have to change plates? That's why.
I
Okay.
didn't.
All right, we're done then.